Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fall Frenzy, the North American Renegade Cup November Monthly. Joining you for today's broadcast to bring you the second half of the Swiss system Turmoil part of our tournament is myself, Vaudable, alongside Hazmat. How are you doing today, sir?
I am feeling fantastic because I get to watch and cast some amazing Rocket League, and I'm incredibly excited for it. How about you, Vaudable?
I am so excited. I was here for the second half yesterday, got to see some of the action, some of the teams getting the wins they needed to qualify themselves for the round robin play that'll be happening next week, which only 32 teams out of the 48 are actually going to be making it to that stage. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the ways that these teams have to actually qualify for that and why they have to play all 6 rounds of Swiss to get to that part of the system?
Well, as far as I'm aware, they have to earn a certain amount of points and keep progressing in order to just play every single game, win as much points as humanly possible, and just rank up that leaderboard, rank up those points, get up there, and finally come away with enough to advance. So they got to go through, play all of their games, do as much as humanly possible, and play spectacularly in every single one.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what teams are going to be able to take the victories they need to guarantee themselves better seeding going into that round robin style of play that'll be happening next week, as well as guarantee themselves that spot in that play as well. They have to get 3 wins, but if they get more than that, obviously it's going to help them out even more so. But the teams who can't manage to get away 3 wins in 6 rounds, well, we're going to have to say goodbye to them, and they're going to have to go at it next month for another try to get some points, as all the teams who make it to the next stage will be guaranteed at least some points for that Renegade Cup qualification potential if they make it that far. But why don't we get into the teams that we have facing off against each other? That'll be joining each respective side of the field pretty soon. It'll be Nefarious as well as Loaf Bread Sports. Do you have anything you know about these players at all, Hazmat?
Not particularly. I'm not 100% familiar with all of the names that I'm seeing here, but I think that's the beauty of the Renegade Cup. I think a lot of the casters have talked about it throughout it, and that's that we get to see people we don't normally see a lot, you know? So we get to see these awesome players who just quite aren't at that top level yet, but they're close, and they're making a name for themselves right here.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of some of these players around the scene. I know Laz has been namestay in the scene for quite some time. Bell as well, Buddy coming out of Texas, and Kairos on the squad for Nefarious. Then on the other side for Loaf Bread Sports, we have Origin K. I'm sure a lot of people know the meme master himself. Owl, don't know him as well. Leo and Delta, heard of them a little bit. I think I've actually cast the tournament that Leo was in before, but it's going to be great to see how these two teams face off against each other, because one of them is guaranteed a spot in next week's, not tomorrow's, tournament or portion of Fall Frenzy, because they all are both 2-1 currently in the standings. So a lot to play for once the teams get on the field, and we'll be able to see all that action. But another best of 5, based, I guess, since you don't know too much about the players themselves, do you want to just throw out like a random blanket prediction for any of these teams?
I think I got to go give it to Loaf Bread Sports if we're just doing it based on name. That's just me. It's the better name coming in here. Nefarious, like, okay, but Loaf Bread Sports, dude, come on.
Yeah, Loaf's been around the community for some time. They have like Loaf, they have like Lights Out. I think they have like a new one as well for their different rosters. They all scrim each other too, which is pretty great to see, and then compete in all these tournaments to see which roster makes it as far as possible. And it's a great environment from what I've seen. But Nefarious is a newer name. I haven't seen this specific roster come to play and be formulated for these tournaments quite yet. So I'm excited to get a sneak, well, not a sneak peek, but a great showing from Kairos, Laz, Buddy, and Bell, depending on the roster that we get. But it's going to be pretty good to see which one of these teams comes out on top and takes away the victory to make it on to the next stage of Fall Frenzy itself.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to a lot of tight games. And this is the one that decides, like you said, exactly who moves on right immediately. You said they both have 2 wins, and we are about to get it started underway here. I'm excited. And as we get started, Buddy trying to take it off the wall. Gets a little bit bumped off the wall there, so it won't quite work out. But Bell is going to put it into the zone, finding its way to the corner. Delta trying to clear, not working out as he gets bumped. Buddy takes it low, and this has potential as it's in front of net, but no shot yet. Nefarious trying to hold it at center, but oh my goodness, what an angle, and then an accidental own goal. That's gotta hurt.
You said it right there, the accidental own goal by, I believe that was Buddy, hitting it straight into the net. He was going for the clear, had the angle as well, just mistimed it. It also went a bit too fast off that post, so he didn't predict it in time, ended up in the back of his own net, and that's a sour way to start off this first game.
I'm sure Loaf is excited about it, though. They will take that all day, and it looks like they have potential for another one as they're right in front of net. Not going to happen. They will maintain possession at half field. Delta gets one more. That's dropping center, almost read by Leo, but not in yet. Barely hitting the crossbar there. Bell trying to clear this into the low zone. Gets past one, but is low boost. He gets challenged. Now Origin hitting it downfield over to Leo, but that's saved quickly. Delta off the back wall, no shot yet, so it is going to head the other way for a long goal. No one in net.
Well, that's a good way to redeem yourself after the own goal. We see that touch come out by Delta, set them up for the perfect counterattack opportunity. Laz was there in position in case it went off the post, but he didn't even have to worry about that one as Buddy ties things up.
Buddy doing a phenomenal job there, recognizing the open net, cleaning up, but now we are underway back at a tie game. Both mistakes now mean nothing. See who can come away with it as we get some more Rocket League in. Buddy trying to tap it towards the net. He goes for the flick, gets it over, and that will sneak in.
Not the greatest defense I've seen out of Loaf so far. They had so much aggression going for them before, but then Buddy just able to turn it up to 11 and strike right past the defense. Caught the defender off guard, who wasn't in the perfect position for that one. And they weren't able to make that save. Now 2-1 for the Nefarious squad.
Loaf looking to strike back quickly as they get started in this offensive opportunity, but it is bouncing around and they are losing possession as that goes towards their zone. Buddy looking to hunt here. Can't quite get the touch, but Bell is ready to back him up. No shot as that ball trickles towards center, but it will get pinched right back in front of the low zone. Nefarious not taking an opportunity there. Buddy trying to tap it off the wall. A double commit could set up an open net. Here it is. No, it's off the post. And a possible counterattack as Delta tries to get it away, but no, Bell cuts that ball off.
So close for Loaf. They were barely able to stop that at their box, and a good shot going true by Origin K, tying things up. Great angle as well.
Origin K doing a phenomenal job here, turning on this ball, taking the shot immediately, placing it the only spot no defender could get to. Hard right. Beautiful goal from him that ties us right back up. These two teams are just slugging back and forth.
Yeah, you mentioned it just like that. We saw the defense break apart for Loaf. Nefarious was able to take advantage of that and secure their 2 goals they have. But another wide open net for Laz to strike it right past them. This defense has just been all over the place. They need to get it together because they can't let simple shots like this go past them.
You know, I got to chalk this up to just first game jitters. Both of these teams are on that 2-1 scoreline. They know this is a very important series for them. And I'm thinking that maybe they're just a little bit nervous coming into it that's causing some of these defensive mistakes.
Very true. And we always see kind of the feeler games happen in game 1 of a best of 5, even a best of 7 series. They're just trying to get their wits about themselves and make sure they get into a rhythm for the remainder of this series. So hopefully we'll see a lot more coordination and cleaner defense by this Loaf team who's been struggling so far in the first half of this game.
Well, now they're still on the defensive side as Nefarious tries to sneak one more in, but Origin finally get it cleared out to take a small breath. But they also have the shot opportunity. Not going to happen. Trying to maintain possession, but no, Buddy gets it past. Gets it past 2, just one more to beat, but Delta goes up early and cuts that ball off. So now Nefarious back on offense, but not for long. Bouncing back and forth at half. Origin trying to get it off the back wall. He does not. Delta in his own corner. Gets it away, but Bell will be up to challenge. That ball is up. Buddy trying to take out the defender. Won't happen, but Bell still with an opportunity to center. No. Bell retreating and backpassing to Laz. Laz looking for a shot here. Delta barely getting up in time to make the save. And now finally some solid defense from both teams. But will it last?
Yeah, the defense for Loaf hasn't been as spread out as it was before. They've been able to communicate better and get in position before a lot of these passes happen. You notice that they got up into the air as quickly as possible whenever the shots went off that backboard to prevent the setups that typically happen for Nefarious. So great way to come back into this defensively, but now they need to shift on to offense if they want to bring it back to a tie game.
Well, they may have the opportunity right here as they have caught Nefarious in an awkward position. Delta trying to center it, but no shot opportunity yet. Origin puts it low, but Laz is right there. Leoa trying to read this, can't quite do it. Laz wants one more for the stuff, he gets it. But Bell can't quite follow up, still an opportunity. Laz taking it himself, he flicks it high in center. Here comes Buddy, but he misses, so now Delta able to send this one away with the help of teammate Origin. He gets cut off, so right back towards the Loaf side. Origin putting it center. A dangerous play from him, but no harm yet. But they need to get out and get an opportunity right now, as time is not on their side. Ball now needs to stay alive, but it will not. And Nefarious come away with game number 1.
So that was an interesting first game, to say the least, of what happened there. We saw Loaf have some great strikes at the beginning. They had the advantage as well. It's just they left their net wide open whenever they were on an offense. They overcommitted, which we saw happen with some of the teams last time. One of note was the Garbage Men, who were just all out on offense and couldn't really get things together on defense. And we also saw this happen the first game last night with the Peeps versus RBG Esports. So it seems like the first game, a lot of these teams just want to get all the goals possible, make sure their offense is at the highest level and worry about their defense later. But you don't want to drop these early games because they are so crucial going into maybe a tied series situation where you're going to be wanting that final game back that you lost at the beginning of the best of 5. So going into the next one, really looking for Loaf to try and tighten up their defense and shut down Nefarious even more.
Yeah, when we took a look at it, Loaf only had 1 save on the 4 shots that came in. Obviously, that makes sense. 3 goals against them. But on the other side of the pitch, we saw Nefarious with, I believe, 3 saves on the 8 shots that they faced. So a little bit of a different story on both sides. Loaf shots not quite on target enough really to get placed well. So a little bit coming off of the offensive problems as well. But in addition, just not a lot of time spent defensively, making those saves, getting that ball cleared out. And that's going to be a big deal for them in this all-important game, too. But as we get underway, Various in their own zone, trying to get this ball out. Buddy looks like he wants to tap this off the wall. He does with a beautiful pinch. Where did that come from?
Even crazier pinch on the defense as well to knock that away. But you mentioned it. He had that offense going for almost an own goal, this time for Loaf Bread Sports. They need to get this away and finally managed to do just that.
And Loaf in a tough spot there, but they handled the pressure. They didn't panic. Could be the sign of some better defense from them after that one small mistake. Get this one away, and Origin looks to get some more on it, but no boost means he will not. Able to snag the opponent's boost, possibly setting himself up for a shot, but will not come in. Leoa having to go up and just tap this one away. He will. Now Origin looking to chase, can't beat out Bell, but that goes right to Delta, who will pass it up. Origin can't get the touch. No goal yet, but it's still dangerous for Nefarious.
It's also very dangerous for Loaf at this moment. They keep just staying at the midfield line and barely being off target whenever a ball goes past them. Luckily, there's nobody pushing the issue to try and get that counterattack going on the side of Nefarious due to their overwhelming offense they've had so far. We might see a similar situation to the last game of this series if they don't manage to tighten that up and at least go a little farther back, because those big booming clears were very deadly in the last game.
Speaking of big booming clears, here comes the pass to Leoa from their own end. Loaf Bread Sports make it work.
Could say they were a little aloof on their own side, just patiently waiting for that to be handed to them, and just threw it right back to Leo, sneaked it past the defender, and secured the first goal, looking a lot better than they did in the last game.
Yeah, a much better start. Only 1 goal this early means I think these teams have settled down, but hold on, maybe 2 as Bell comes in. Can't get the touch. But now Laz and Bell both retreating with no boost. Buddy, the only one back, but he gets the save. Leoa able to put it center, but it gets quickly pushed away. Delta right back on target, and that one will sneak in. Loaf 2-0.
Well, the last one snuck in, but that one did exactly that, even more so. Right over top of one defender. The other ones weren't on rotation in time. You saw 2 defenders actually being out of position, going towards that boost. So you could notice that Loaf were doing their part, making sure there wasn't the most important resource available to their opponents. It worked out well for them to net themselves a 2-goal lead at this point.
Loaf making much better plays this game. They seem to be really come together as a team, which you gotta love to see here in Game 2. The nerves have gone away, and now it's time to see how Nefarious will respond as we are halfway through the game. Loaf up 2-0. Buddy trying to put this downfield, so Laz will send it to the corner, gets the pass center, but Origin shuts it down. That goes straight to Leoa, who sends it over to Delta, but Delta will not be able to take the shot. Ball still at half, but Laz will touch this one downfield. Buddy just trying to stall the defense from getting the clear. He does successfully. And Nefarious maintain possession, and oh my goodness, Bell.
It wasn't just Bell on that play, though. That was all set up by the bump from Laz. He made sure Origin couldn't get in position in time. It showed perfectly in the replay, and then there was a great setup by Buddy and the finish by Bell. Complete team coordination to secure that goal and get back onto the train of potentially getting a tie game for this second one of the best of 5.
You gotta love those team plays. But now they only have to make 1 more to stay alive in this game. 2 minutes left, plenty of time to do it. But with Loaf on the attack, they need to clear it now. Not gonna happen quite yet as Laz takes this one to the wall. Taps it to center, Buddy pushing it upfield. Leo is forced to send this high as the challenger came in. He has plenty of time to work with it and try to get 1 more 50-50. Origin gets it up the wall, but that's cut off by Laz and then immediately sent over towards the Nefarious zone. Unfortunately, that goes center, sets up a shot, but Buddy back in time. He earns himself a savior for the trouble.
Great clear as well by Laz. Recognized that if they were able to take that away from him, he was the last defender, and that would have been an even stronger lead for Loaf, but they're putting on the pressure again towards the Loaf side. They've had to put so many more shots on as well, because they aren't being given those simple counterattack goals this game. So you have to work with what they're given and try and take possession away from Loaf as much as they can.
Unfortunately, that double commit may set themselves up to be in a long defensive position here. Loaf try to get set up on the offense. Buddy pushing it upfield, but Delta right there at half. Not gonna let it past him. Origin going up, trying to do the same, but he will not. So now Nefarious back on offense. Bell trying to get it centered off the ceiling, but not quite gonna work out. Delta gets it over 1, can't predict it, so no challenge there, which means it's right back towards Loaf's end. Laz going up, can he beat Leoa? He does. Bell cannot put the shot up. Delta chipping this one up to half. 10 seconds left. Nefarious finding themselves in the position Loaf were in last game in their own end with no time. Can they get it away? Ball still up. Laz trying to keep it that way. Buddy can't get the touch, and that's the game.
Buddy just lost control of his car a little bit in the air there. Might have been able to take it the length of the field and secure that goal. But we do see Loaf come out on top. Mentioned it up briefly before. So many more shots by Nefarious this one compared to the last one. And that's what happens when Loaf is on point on defense. We saw 3 saves by one member, a save apiece for the other 2. And now they're going to be looking to use all that coordination together to get them the lead in this series. Now 1-1 for this best of 5 and a great victory by Loaf.
Yeah, I believe we saw a 75% shooting percentage for Nefarious in game number 1, whereas they went into game number 2 only picking up 1 out of 7. Yeah, I'm not going to do the percentage on 1 out of 7. Trust me on that one. You don't want to hear that math from me.
Texas Instrument calculators out and hope that'll help us.
maybe just a little. Some of these teams are going to have to pull out their calculators too for some calculated goals. Bell tries to put it away. Won't quite happen. Laz into center, but it gets pushed away by Origin. Buddy looking to get the double, but not enough boost to do so. Never mind, he will! And that's why he's a better player than me. He knew exactly how much he needed.
That demo as well just set him up perfectly. The miss by Leo, Origin couldn't get in the way, and there's just suffocating offense by Nefarious to shove that into the back of the net and secure the lead as well.
Leo going up, but it'll get cut right out by Laz. Shot already coming in. Here comes Buddy. Off the ceiling, still in a tight spot, but Loaf are able to get it away. Bell forced to touch into the corner. Bell now pushing it upfield, but cut right off by Leoa. Buddy into center. Laz can't get the touch, so Delta will push it away. Ball bouncing back and forth. Nobody keeping it on defense for too long, but my goodness, what a save from Buddy.
Masterclass save by Buddy. Was in the back of the net, able to just inch it out off the post. But he still can't hold his breath for too long, as the pressure's still going to be continued by Loaf on offense.
Buddy trying to get this one out. Can't get it past two. Still in the corner, but finally that boomer clear will try. But Leoa right back in front. Here comes Origin with the goal. All tied up now at 1-1 with just 3 minutes 37 seconds left. A beautiful pass from Leoa right over to his teammate there.
Great pass, as you mentioned, and great secure of that goal. Tie things up again for Loaf and Nefarious. These two teams have just been neck and neck, not maybe in the last game, but this one, it looks like it might go the way of Nefarious. Great solo play, and then the finish by Laz.
Buddy just with a beautiful little 50 there, keeps it right the way he wants it, heading towards the net. Laz coming in to clean up, and a beautiful play for Nefarious that will earn them the lead very quickly again. Now they just have to...
Yeah, I was about to say, great way to get the lead on that one as well. Just because they were desperately needing that, especially after that crushing offense this time.
Speaking of leads, now 2 goals up off of this beautiful dribble by, or air dribble by Bell. It keeps it up, keeps it heading towards net, and Laz will clean up. 3-1 now, but still a lot of time remaining. Loaf have plenty of time to make something happen here. They are not out by any means. They're still tied up in the series, so nothing dangerous for them yet. I'm sure their nerves are fine. And here we go, setting it up. Delta trying to take the shot. It gets 50'd away, but still coming center off of Origin. Bell gets it past 1, can't get it past 2. But Laz is right there. Bell waiting for it, won't get the touch, but it won't matter as it heads center anyways. Unfortunately, Buddy didn't want to commit to that. The smart play as both of his teammates already had, but what a prediction from him right there.
He's able to get the block he needed, keep up that offense, and the mistakes keep coming out by the defense as well. Just cleared it in front of their net, set up Bell perfectly after the block by Buddy.
Yeah, Bell doing a phenomenal job to just read this touch off of Buddy. He trusted his teammate was going to get there. Buddy was, in fact, able to, and Bell is rewarded for it in the form of goal number 4 for Nefarious. Now the ball trickling into their end off of that kickoff. Buddy needs to make something happen quickly as a player's challenging, but he will not. That's right in front, but Laz is able to push it away. Delta trying to take it up the wall. It gets pushed right towards Loaf's net. It's going to be dangerous as Leo has to go up. Gets a nice touch to pinch it towards the corner. A really smart touch in that dangerous position, but Bell almost making something happen. Shots from Nefarious piling up in this game.
That's like an understatement at this point. 5 shots for Laz, 5 for Buddy, 4 for Bell. They know the all-out offense works well for them, especially when their defense is on point. They know how dangerous Loaf is when they're given too much possession with the ball just like that.
Oh!
They aren't able to sneak it in quite yet because the defense has also been stalwart by Nefarious.
A beautiful defensive play from them as well. Bell coming down to collapse on that. Massive props that they can do both here. Keep themselves with this 4-1 lead. Loaf trying to just take this one back towards their own side to get set on an offensive play, but Laz says, no, I am taking that right from you. Now Origin forced to try to dribble it away. Gets cut off, so Buddy now with possession along the wall. Not going to get it as Delta is there to challenge. Laz chipping it high, able to get it centered, but no one really there to take the shot except Bell drops it beautifully for his teammate. Nefarious are on fire.
He said no one was really there for the shot, but he didn't need to. He just had to bait out that last defender. Leo just getting played like a fiddle, and then Laz able to get the secure, strengthen that lead even more, and make this victory and lead even more inevitable for Nefarious as they would go up 2-1, barring a miracle of 4 goals in a minute's time.
It's difficult, but not impossible. Especially as this ball is just trickling in front of the Nefarious zone right now. Buddy able to get it away and take possession for Nefarious. Buddy gets it centered a little bit too high on the pass. Laz can't get there. A nice, smart play from them, though. They were reading each other well, knew what was happening. I like the coordination. Just didn't quite work out for him. Loaf trying to get it set up, but Laz will hit this one off the wall. Delta getting the 50 there. Origin can't get past 2. A little bit of awkward play at half here. Bell trying to just take the goal. He will. That's not Buddy. That one's mine.
Yeah, he wanted the hat trick, and Buddy unfortunately hasn't gotten a single goal. But he's been the assist mastermind for his team, 4 to his name. There's been 2 for Bell as well, so great coordination across the field. But it's insane to see how Buddy now has, actually no, all members of Nefarious have more shots than the entire team of Loaf.
That is a very terrifying stat for Loaf looking at it, especially as we reach the final seconds of this. They're going to have to really reevaluate going into Game 4 here, and I'm interested to see what they can bring back to the table to really try to bring things back in their favor.
One thing I do want to point out that Nefarious did so well in this 3rd game of this best of 5 is that they knew when to pick their battles and when to slow down the play, especially on defense. Having the wherewithal just to calm yourself down, be patient whenever a attacker is going straight towards you and might just flicker right over top of you is insane, where they're able to just mind game them out of these shots that they'd easily take and instead take the ball away, set themselves up for those goals that they got. It was just great to see the coordination between all 3 players. And Loaf, they didn't get as many shots at the time because Nefarious just had most of the possession that entire game.
Yeah, Nefarious did a fantastic job of just maintaining possession there. I mean, 17 shots to 5. Like, what an insane stat. But I think something that just plays so heavily into it was just their superb team play and communication. We saw every single one of their goals in that game number 3 assisted in some way. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal play from them. And the fact that they were able to just do it so well, have those comms going, is what led to them maintaining possession. You know, these teams are very equal mechanically, but at this point, it just comes down to strategy and who talks more.
Yeah, and we saw that evident by the game that just happened. We'll see exactly if they can just take the 3-1 victory, swiftly move on to the next round, especially with some good demos like that, or if Loaf will manage to bring things back to a potential Game 5 for this series.
Yeah, Loaf in a tight position now on match point, but I'm sure they're not giving up yet as Delta cuts this off. He has no boost, so he tries to steal some, but nothing there, which unfortunately leaves Leo as the last man standing. That'll go past him. Origin now in front. Buddy, what an angle!
What an insane angle. As you said, Buddy has just been pulling these out of a hat like a magician, straight past the defender, slicing through the defense and securing the lead yet again for this team.
Nefarious at this point just trying to put on some of the fancy goals, it seems. Buddy doing a phenomenal job there. Gear that one for his team. But Bell looking to get one more as he goes for the double touch. Won't happen. It looks like they may maintain possession as he tries to stick with it, but no, that demo could be huge as that's just going to roll right in.
That demo was all they needed to get that counterattack there was 2 members of Nefarious pushed up and actually inside of the net of Loaf. So that was a perfect moment for them to get back. The demo might have left them an opportunity to try and come back in time and get the block. They were too accurate on their shot. They didn't pull a Joro and miss an open net, and were able to get the tie they need.
Hopefully that gives them a little bit more energy coming here into Game 4. You know, we saw Nefarious really run away with it pretty early, it seemed like. So having a tie game this early on could be really good for Loaf moving forward. But that remains to be seen as Nefarious is on offense once again. Buddy challenging at half to maintain that possession. Into the corner, Bell puts this one centered. Pass over to Buddy. Buddy down to Laz. Laz off the post. Here comes Bell. The slow play. The fake. The 50-50. How is it not in? Leo, no!
I feel so bad for Leo on this one. Bell tried to outplay Delta on that one. He did get the block. Leo thinking, oh, he just needed to get the clear. Panicking in that moment when Origin was in a perfect position to get the save. Just lack of communication, as we mentioned, being the crux for this Loaf team.
Loaf, unfortunately, just a little panicky there after some sustained offense. Maybe a little bit back to what we saw in Game 1 for them. But now Buddy trying to get another set up. They want the 2-goal lead as he tries to pass this one forward, but Laz taking over. Delta sending it away, but Bell will put it right back towards net. Leo off the wall. A little bit of a double commit here. This could set up a Nefarious offensive opportunity. But they give Loaf plenty of space, playing smart as they have so far. Buddy,
we've seen a few too many double commits by this Loaf team, especially on offense. We saw Origin and Leo both going for the ball plenty of times, and that's left them wide open to these attacks by Nefarious. They got to clean that up if they want to actually bring things to that Game 5, especially when there's just simple shots going towards the net like that.
That's definitely something that, you know, if you're double committing frequently, you're just probably not going to win games at this level. It's something that's much too important. But they have a chance here as it's in front of net. No, Bell able to push it away. But yeah, that double commits are definitely something to clean up. And hopefully they can do it soon, as they are running low on time in the series. Delta over to the wall. Leo gonna try to get it. That pushes towards center. Bell, the only one in net, able to send it away. But Delta will maintain possession. Leo sending this one high. Buddy there to meet it. Buddy up to Bell. Bell wants the shot. It's on target, but not gonna go in the pinch. Sends it all the way back.
Not sure if that was a 200 IQ play or it just ended up working out that way, but perfect way to clear it out of their side, relieve that pressure that they've been facing this entire game. And they were looking a little bit better than last game when it comes to the shots that they've been able to put on targets just like that. But we need more passing plays from Loaf if they want to bring things back to a tie game.
Especially with just 1 minute left as we approach that marker. They're in a little bit of a dangerous position, but they have the ball on offense and are making some good progress, but can't quite get it in there. Bell trying to send this one away. Gets it past one. So Laz comes in to help out. Buddy tapping this one along the wall. Origin can't get there. So Nefarious maintain possession, but it gets cleared right back. Laz being patient. They're playing very long formations right now. Nefarious not wanting to give up anything this late in the game with only the 1-goal lead. Leo taps it past one, but Laz again right there ready to catch it. Somebody is always there, it seems, from Nefarious. Delta cutting it off at half. Can't get another, but Leo will. This ball just playing around at half. Neither team really getting a solid possession and offensive opportunity yet. But that could be a killer as it's bouncing towards net with 10 seconds left. Both finding themselves in a deadly spot here. Origin elects not to go for this, so Bell will try to spike it. No, still up. Delta pushing it high. He's going to elect not to go for this. Buddy tries to get it down, but it rolls off the lip. So still up. Delta towards center. Origin trying to do it. No, it's back towards the corner. That'll shoot straight down. And Nefarious take game 4 and the series.
I had hoped for a second there that that Loaf would be able to bring things back before it hit the ground, but as soon as they cleared it towards the opposite end of their defensive half, it was all but over at that point till it hit the ground. Nefarious, though, great way to come back after losing that second game to Loaf, where they looked on fire in that game, but kind of burnt themselves out. And Nefarious, more shots, more saves, more pressure, more coordination. They had more of everything on the pitch. So now they are guaranteed to be in the top 32 and moving on to the round robin. But they're still going to be playing the remainder of their matches to see exactly how they place in the seeding for that round robin. And Loaf, they have another chance to get that final win they need to make it on, and 2 more chances at that. So they got to make the next ones count as much as possible.
Yeah, Loaf not quite out of it yet. They've showed a great showing here, but just couldn't quite figure it out with Nefarious. So hopefully they can move on to do some more crazy things. But we are going to be throwing it to a little 5-minute break. Stay tuned. We have some more amazing matches for you, and I, for one, am looking forward to them.
Welcome back, everyone, to day 2 of the Swiss System Turmoil happening here for the Fall Frenzy Tournament. How are you doing, Hazmat? Joining us on the broadcast yet again after that amazing match we just saw happen between those two teams. We have yet another one lined up between one of the teams we saw yesterday, the Snakes, and Afterthought, who have been a hot commodity in a lot of recent tournaments.
Yeah, to say the least. I've gotten to cast Afterthought once before, and all I can say is, wow. They are playing absolutely fantastic. They're both teams doing amazing in this tournament so far, and I have a feeling that we are going to see some pretty intense games.
Yeah, one thing to note as well, we did have the Nexus tournament bi-weeklies happen, but Afterthought, the roster that performed so well in there, took down Ghost Gaming, took down Allegiance, and I think they also took down either the Peeps or the other like rival series teams. It's a different roster happening for this matchup. It's Hoxer, Shock, Zolhe, and Stokely. So some team members are a little bit different from there, but this is the roster that competed last go around for Project Phoenix, which was the October Renegade Cup monthly for North America. So little difference there, but probably still the same amount of skill, and I'm probably expecting Hoxer, Shock, and Zolhe to be the main roster that's going to be showing up to play.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that I'm sorry. I tend to agree with you because that team right there is absolutely stacked. I have a feeling if they bring that lineup, it's going to be a tough victory for the Snakes, but not impossible by any means. Snakes have proven themselves as a fantastic team too. And I mean, what can you say other than this is going to be some good Rocket League?
It's going to be some great Rocket League, especially because both these teams have only lost one game in the 3 series they have played so far. Both of them are 9-1, currently 3-0 in their series wins. So they're both already qualified, basically playing for better seeding at this point. I believe the Snakes also took down Seoul Esports in 3-1 fashion, who looked quite well. They took down the Garbage Men in their last matchup, and Brute Force Red. And then looking on the other side for Afterthought, the teams that they managed to defeat thus far to get that 9-1 was Sweaty Goblins, E-Board, by the way, and the Clappers, which are some great teams, especially the Clappers, which people know actually qualified for next go-around's rival series season.
Yeah, I think that both these teams have a lot of potential, but like you said, this one really just comes down to seeding at this point. Both teams already qualified, so I don't think they're really going to be too stressed about win or lose coming forward.
Oh no, they're going to be super stressed.
You think so?
I think so. They're rearing to go, getting into this first game of the best of 5 as well.
Well, let's get it started as Hoxer passes this one up. Shock can't quite grab it. Communism will pass this one over to Austin. Austin off the back wall, not going to come in as Shock sends it away, but here comes Communism. He's not able to sneak it in. Stokely, the beautiful save there. Now that ball once again at half. Communism trying to push it forward. Stokely's forced to make another save. That ball is right off the back wall once more. Really staying in Afterthought's zone at the moment. Snakes applying a whole lot of pressure, including one more. Starting to pile up. That demo could make things dangerous, but no, the clear finally comes in. Now, Afterthought has an opportunity. Stokely pinches it to the side. Communism, not the best touch, but Austin should be able to come in and help out. Hoxer cuts that one right off. Now it's forced into the corner. Bouncing center, but that's right back to midfield. Nobody getting any phenomenal chances yet, but the shot's still racking up. That ball going straight down. As I say it, here comes one. There you go. Rocco puts it away.
You just got to call it, and eventually the players will hand it straight to you. A great drop down by Communism. A pop up by Austin, baiting out the final defenders, and then Taroko with the finish on the play. A great 1-2-3 swift jabs happening by the Snakes to get the first goal.
Now the Snakes trying to do it again real quick. They put some pressure on right here. As Austin tries to cut that one off. It won't happen, but Taroko does keep it alive. Now Stokely getting it into the end. A nice touch from Shock, but not on target. As Austin tries to get this one cleared out. He does. Communism not able to get there in time. Close, but no cigar. Hoxer gets demoed. Communism with the double shock, barely able to get back in time. But my goodness, the demos. Turoko, though, making it work. What a shot.
I was about to say, don't hold your breath for too long, because Turoko's coming to play for this one. You said they might have been not taking this one as seriously, but it's a different story for the Snakes so far. 2 goals for Turoko. Great setup by Austin for both of them. And then Communism being that rear guard for their team so far.
Afterthought, 2 goals down already. Not what I thought was going to see. I thought we'd see a lot of close games here. But, you know, once again, maybe game 1 jitters. That ball doesn't quite sneak in either. Sitting in the corner. Looks like Snakes are going to be able to get this one cleared out, but Shock putting it right back towards the zone. Hoxer coming up here. Doesn't get the best touch, which allows Communism to clear this one away. Stokely shadowing this. He waits patiently and does get it back towards the Snakes zone. Turoko able to maintain possession here. Shock takes it away, gets it past the second as well. Can't get it centered. Which allows Communism to try to dribble this one out, but no, Hawks are right there, ready to stop him. Stokely wants to get it past, cannot. Austin cutting him off very quickly.
More back and forth action between these two teams. Snakes have been doing quite well for themselves, shutting down any of the clear opportunities by Afterthought thus far, even though they've had plenty of shots. That was mainly in the first minute or so of play. And Snakes is exactly what they did in their series against the Garbage Men that was on broadcast last time. Made sure that their opponents did not have the possession game. And even when they did, it was kind of controlled possession that was relinquished to their opponents. They knew that they'd be playing right into their hands so that they could set themselves up for better opportunities.
Yeah, Snakes playing phenomenally right now. We haven't seen a lot of mistakes from them, if any. Speaking of maintaining possession, a beautiful back pass there that will allow them to continue. As Communism puts the center, Austin just trying to get a touch to keep the defenders away from it. Gonna pinch that one off the wall. Communism can't quite get there, so Shock will try to get this one away. Turoko puts it center, and 2 players are forced to go up for it from Afterthought. Could be dangerous, but Shock handles the pressure well. Turoko down to Communism, no touch from him. It will still be in their zone. Hoxer gets this boom to the other side, and now Shock trying to maintain, won't. Stockley pinches that off the wall, gets demoed for his service, and now Austin trying to get this one passed over. Hoxer sends this away. Just 30 seconds left for Afterthought to make something happen here. It is not looking good for them. They do have a little bit of possession here.
Yeah, they haven't had many more shots after that first minute, as I mentioned. So much pressure, even so, Communism able to push it through the defense after that one. Very bad touch by Hoxer. Tried to clean it up, but ended up setting Communism for that shot straight towards the net. It was pretty much over before that, but with only 20 seconds in the way that Snakes have just been zoning out Afterthought, doesn't look like they're going to be able to come back in this first game of the best of 5.
You also got to take into account just the mental toll that extra last goal takes. You know, 2 goals down, you've got the hope because you're short time. You get that third one, and now it becomes unwinnable, and that just does not feel good. But Shock may help a little bit. No, not going to sneak in. So Snakes will come away with it 3-0.
Snakes have been looking so hot, especially since yesterday. And even though both these teams were 9-1, now one is 9-2 and the other one is 10-1 in game wins so far in this Swiss system Turmoil. The Snakes, they just want to continue their domination, don't want to drop any more games against good teams, and just move their way easily into one of the favorable round-robin situations for themselves, because 32 teams make it, but they want to have the easiest ride all the way into those finals. That'll net themselves potential for some of that $5,000 prize pool. They want all the points. They want everything they can go away with. And so far, their work has been paying off. And Afterthought, they have a lot to improve upon, you could say.
Yeah, a few small mistakes coming out there that just really ended up compounding on them. I mean, nothing insanely major, but it seemed like every little one Snakes was really ready to capitalize on. We saw a few defensive double commits. I just shouldn't even say a few, maybe only two, that almost immediately turned into goals against. And you got to consider just you can't really be making those simple mistakes. And is it game one nerves? Maybe. You know, we saw it definitely in that last series. That was a lot of game one nerves, and then it got cleaned up a lot. But now between these two teams, where do you go from here? The Snakes definitely going to try to maintain that same pressure, but Afterthought really has to take a step back and just take a breath here.
Yeah, especially after that first game loss, all those goals going past them and all the pressure we have seen so far by the Snakes team. It's really the moment for Afterthought to take command, get that first goal, and get things going their way for this series.
Taroko trying to make sure it doesn't happen as he wants to get it cleared away, but will not. That ball still right in front. Communism and Taroko both stacked on top of it. They had some great communication to make sure they didn't double commit there. Communism challenging at half. Looks like Austin going in, but Communism comes in, gets a beautiful touch. And now Hoxer's forced to try to take this one off the ceiling. Can't quite do it. Shot will come in, especially as that one's off the backboard. A double commit from Snakes, but it plays out anyways.
They just wanted to make sure that one went in no matter what. Even if Taroko didn't get the touch here, Communism was in position for that one. But the touch by Taroko was just at the perfect angle to drop it underneath the defender who went up for the block. So it could have just been a bait by the second defender. The one guy would have been focused on that member of the Snakes offense. And instead, it was Taroko who snuck it past them and got that first goal.
And Taroko opening us up early twice in a row now. Been a staple for the Snakes lineup. But looks like the Afterthought want to make their own staples here as they get something started. Not going to work out. Shock trying to put it off the back wall, but he gets demoed. So now Stokely sending this one along the wall. Gets it past Austin, but a little too fast for Hoxer to handle. Communism comes in, doesn't get the best touch, so Shock will be able to push this one back to the corner. Stokely challenges that, but that goes straight to Hoxer. Hoxer trying to get it by Austin, cannot. Now a bump coming in that should allow the Snakes to clear it. It does. Hoxer's forced to make a save all the way in his own end. Shock up to Hoxer. Hoxer can't quite get there. So Taroko will send that one away. Here comes Communism. Communism on target. No! Crossbar! Gotta be a heartbreaking one for them, but still have possession.
Best goal you see all around in every Rocket League match is that crossbar. Very unfortunate for Communism, but they still have the 1-goal lead. And they've been doing their part to try and keep possession out of Afterthought. Not as well as they did in the first one. We've seen pretty much an even spread for shots for both of these teams. And they've been giving too much possession to Afterthought in their own end when they're able to get setups like this.
But Hoxer may be doing something insane. Not gonna happen. Austin with a beautiful backboard defense to keep that one out of the net. Now Austin getting over top of one as well. Hoxer will send it straight down towards mid. Nobody there to challenge it, but they have plenty of time to do so. So the Snakes will still get an offensive opportunity. That bump could be huge as maybe Shock can get there first. Gets it past, but no, it'll get cleared off of that pinch. And now Stockley's in an awkward position. Austin trying to challenge, but fakes it anyways. Gets it back to Communism, but unfortunately kind of sends it the other way himself. Taroko pushes it up. Still along the wall here. Hoxer pushing it towards the back wall. Taroko right back. Ooh. That ball going off the backboard. Here comes the opportunity. Too high, but that one isn't. Shock able to sneak it low.
Oh, that bounce is what killed the defense there. Stokely with a great touch going off the crossbar. And that was just able, as you mentioned, sneak it right past Taroko. Couldn't get the angle he wanted to get that save. Instead, he should have been more patient. But there wasn't too much he could do. It was him against 3 members of Afterthought on that play, able to tie things up at the perfect amount of time.
Yeah, a minute 30 left. This is when you really need to focus on the game-winning goal. Who's going to be the hero here? As these two teams are putting up excellent defensive opportunities. So it could come down to one more. As Communism tries to get it away. It's in the corner. That's right into center. Shock with the shot. No, won't happen. Communism downfield into the corner. Stokely trying to get it away, but no boost. So that's right in front. Taroko can't read it. But here comes Communism, trying to take the shot. Too slow. Shock pushes it away. Stokely upfield. Wants to get it off the wall, but Austin will slow it down. Taroko pushing it back the other way. Bouncing off the wall. Shock able to pinch it, but Communism right there. Wants to get it center. Stokely with an excellent challenge. Austin puts it middle, but Hawks are able to just kick this ball away. 30 seconds left. Austin with the shot. Shock with the save. My goodness. But not clear yet. Taroko with the goal.
What an insane play by the Snakes side. They sent one member up, baited out most of the defense, and then Communism with the assist towards Taroko, the perfect center, striking it right past the defense to get that lead again. But they got to be fearful because of how desperate Stokely and his team are right off of the kickoff. Right in front, no, right in front of the net. I thought he was going to get the save, but instead it bounces directly back into his net.
Yeah, Hawks are just able to make an interesting touch here that somehow gives him the goal off of that awkward ceiling bounce. Trying to get the save just desperately, a little worried because there's so little time, and unfortunately it doesn't work out. Which means we're all tied up with just 15 left. This is gonna mean one hero comes out, and it may be Stokely. My goodness.
Making such big efforts this game to improve his performance compared to the last one. Been involved in a lot of defensive efforts for his side, even though it might have been unaccredited by the scoreboard. Able to finally strike true for his team, get the goal. 4 seconds now for the Snakes to try and get something going. But it'll eventually hit the ground there. Afterthought get their well-earned victory after a very close game.
Yeah, Afterthought playing absolutely phenomenally there. They came back. They weren't making nearly as many mistakes, almost none that game. Snakes were playing just as phenomenally, I think, as they did in game one, but just got a little beat there. I don't think they were expecting that comeback in that return pressure from Afterthought.
I said it too. I called it right there. Excuse the voice crack, but the Snakes, as soon as they got that goal, they relieved way too much pressure off those kickoffs, and that's exactly when Afterthought took advantage of that situation, got 2 quick goals, which I'm sure no one really saw coming, and then they were able to get the victory after being down by a goal and going up by a goal to win. Just insane to see.
Yeah, Afterthought put into some really awkward positions there that they handled phenomenally. I mean, Snakes just didn't keep up the pressure, and we'll have to see if they realize their mistakes here and can come away and make those changes. As we go into game 3, all tied up at 1s here in the series. This one could be a big deal as Austin tries to push it away. That ball will maintain itself in the corner. So Austin pushes it right back, but Shock not letting it happen. Stokely challenges, and that maintains possession for a little bit longer. Hawks are gonna go straight down, but no goal. A little bit too far wide. Now we see that ball headed center. Shock not able to do it, so now it's still in the corner. Stokely gets it on touch. In center, no shot still. Snakes doing phenomenally on defense, but it may not matter, as that's finally they get the clear and can breathe for just a second.
Just bumping out the attackers, being as rough as possible to make it as difficult as possible to secure that goal that Afterthought desperately have been vying for, but that doesn't matter. Right over top the defender, off the crossbar and in.
Hoxer with the snipe. I mean, just this beautiful pass from Stokely that sets him up perfectly. Bar down beauty, to say the least. But now the Afterthought team has the lead. Something that we haven't seen much. They were behind for a while there, only taking the lead very late in the game. They might be up 2 as this is forced back into the zone. Communism was luckily there and handled it well. Afterthought still not scoring yet. Austin trying to get it away, but Stokely ready to challenge. Hawks are coming in. No, that is stopped. Communism can't get the touch and put into an awkward spot going backwards, but plays it well enough. Fortunately, that double commit from Snakes could be huge, and somehow that pinch pass comes out right to Hoxer. Taroko pushes it towards the corner. Communism chips it up to Roko, setting up a dribble. Will he get demoed? No, he won't, but can't take it to the net. Hoxer with the save.
Great save, as you mentioned. Trying to keep the dream alive for the Snakes to potentially get the lead in this series. Still tied up 1-1 for this best of 5. Remind those who have just joined us, it is currently 3-0 for both these teams going into this series. For the Swiss system, Turmoil, they're playing for better seeding going into that round robin. Some great coordination happening by Afterthought on defense. The Snakes' offense has been non-existent so far in this third game.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. Only 2 shots in the entire first half of this game, but Austin looking to make it 3. Not enough power, not enough the right angle, so it will not. Communism looking to center. Stokely, the brilliant read. Austin right back into the corner, but Shock ready and waiting. Communism sends it up to Roko, sends it straight down. Communism comes in, no goal. Afterthought stay alive here.
Way too hasty on that opportunity. Could have put himself in a better position, but instead thought it would drop down right in front of his lap and he could put a simple shot on towards the net, but both defenders missing the touches there, giving more space to this Afterthought offense. You do not want to do that, especially what happened to them last game.
Oh my goodness, speaking of space, where did the space for that shot come in? I feel like that barely sneaked by all the defenders, but it doesn't quite happen as it hits crossbar. Shock looking to follow this. Will he? It's too high. A close chance, but no cigar. Austin trying to get one more, but Stokely ready to grab it. Stokely pinches this one center. Here comes Hoxer. Hoxer looking for one more. Does it all himself. What a beauty.
You mentioned it. Perfect angle, perfect opportunity, perfect setup by both Stokely and Hoxer with the finish. Pirouetting in the air to hit it off the backboard and then in. Great coordination by the members of Afterthought to get the 2-goal lead.
Afterthought in a great position here with just 1 minute remaining, maybe more. No, Stokely can't quite get it on target. But no harm, no foul as they are up by a mile, and my goodness, make it 1.5 miles.
What a way to gain a commanding lead in such a short amount of time as well. Unfortunate touch by the defense, but that goal was inevitable based off the power of that shot. Bouncing off the ceiling straight towards the net, off the defender and in. With only a minute remaining for the Snakes team, they put the first leg of that long journey to try and bring things to a tie game in.
Hey, that cuts it down a considerable amount. I believe now just every 27 seconds, that's totally reasonable. Austin with a beautiful pass to Communism, just chipped that in from up above. You gotta love it if they can just get a few more simple plays like that. Maintain offensive possession for just a little bit. They may be able to do this, but Afterthought's going to make it very difficult. Austin trying to do it quickly as they start the offensive possession here, but Roko wants to retreat. Stokely pushing this one towards center. Austin doesn't get the touch, but it's much too high, so no concern yet. That ball bouncing off the corner. Stokely trying to maintain it over to his teammate Shock. Austin looking to get a touch off the back wall. He does. And Hoxer will send this one high towards his own zone. That miss could be huge, especially with the Roko's bump. And there you go. Communism cleans up.
That touch by Hoxer is what set everything into motion for this play. An unfortunate back pass, which wasn't intended, put them in an awkward position, as you mentioned, and was capitalized on by the Snakes offense. Now only within 1, potentially tying this up, giving us our first overtime of the broadcast, if we ever get to that point. With 10 seconds left, looking less and less likely.
Don't count him out yet as Communism puts this towards net. Shock will push it away. 2 seconds, the ball needs to stay alive now, but Stokely will just let it drop. Afterthought take game 3 and the lead in the series.
That was a closer game than it looked like at the beginning of that half for the 5 minutes of play. Afterthought just had complete control of everything. We only saw 1 or 2 shots from Snakes, and then eventually, as soon as they came down by 3, they're like, okay, we got to like re-gear our minds, get into it, get into the game. And that's exactly what they did. 1 quick goal, and it took them a little bit to get that second one. Too much time after only a minute of play remaining for them to get themselves back into that game. But a great victory by Afterthought.
Yeah, Afterthought did phenomenally through the whole game. Snakes, unfortunately, only doing really phenomenally at the probably last minute.
Very true.
So I think at this point, you just have to, if you're Snakes, just take the breath back, relax, play the way you want to, use this game break because you're now on match point. You don't have any more to drop. Things are looking dangerous, and if they can just get themselves figured out, keep that pressure up, stop playing it a little bit too slowly, a little bit too long, and letting Afterthought score on you, then they have the potential to do this.
And this is the first time any team has been able to take 2 games off of the Snakes so far. So this is a different situation this entire tournament that they haven't been in yet. So it's going to all come down to how they're able to adapt to that kind of situation, all the pressure that's going to be on all 3 members of the Snakes to play at their A game if they want to bring this to a potential Game 5 and come back for the victory.
But it's definitely going to be a hard-fought victory for either team that comes away with it, as Stokely tries to push this towards the corner. Communism sends it up. He wants to follow this and just get a little bit of a 50 there, but he will not. Hoxer sends it towards his zone. Austin pushing this all the way on that pinch. Hoxer puts it up to Rocco. Down to Communism. Communism takes the shot. It's high. Somebody needs to come in and clean up, but Austin waits patiently as he recognized that touch coming all the way back towards his zone. Shock with 1 extra touch, but Taroko still able to get a small little touch on there. Hoxer with a brilliant read. It won't work out, so now Stokely in a dangerous position. Plays it well into the corner. Austin off the back wall. Shock can't quite get the touch, and that will sneak in despite 3 Aftershock players.
I have to take a look at Shock right now to see exactly what his mindset was. So he had so much boost to work with on that play, and instead opted to try and flip into it instead of just going off the wall and try and get in the way with like a block, just using all the boost possible to get to it even faster. So not the really greatest decision making there by Shock on that play. Ended up with a goal being conceded to the Snakes quite early in this first game. Or not first game. In the first minute of play.
Definitely not the first game, as the Snakes are in a dangerous spot with the Afterthought on match point here. So they have to come away with this one, and it's looking relatively decent for them so far. Managed to hold offensive pressure a lot more in the opening minute than they have in really any other game here. And now Stokely trying to push it away. He will miss a little bit, and this will be dangerous, but the Snakes double commit on that one will make it worse, as here comes Shock. Tries to fake out Austin. He's not biting. So Stokely's forced to grab the ball at half. Rocco puts it down. Communism into the corner. That bounces out so that Austin will chip this up high. Stokely going to have all the time in the world to play with it, but Austin knows exactly where it's going and grabs it as he does. To Rocco towards the other side to Austin. Austin can't quite get the touch he needed, so Communism will come in and help him out. Here comes a shot, but Hoxer with the save. Very smart play there to just be ready and waiting, but it may not be enough as Austin puts another one, but no, Shock there. The Snakes on a very sustained offense at the moment. The first we've seen in a long time.
So much pressure by the Snakes. Giving us a little insight to what they had in the game that they actually managed to take the victory against Afterthought. They shut them down in that one. Had all the shots possible. So far, we finally saw one come out of Afterthought from Stokely.
Yeah, Afterthought not really looking like the same team we've seen. We're used to the offensively dominant, never in defense mode team, and that is just not happening here. Snakes doing a great job to adapt. as Taroko comes in, chips at center. Here comes Austin. No, it's challenged. No goal yet. Communism looking to change that, though, as he comes in. Won't get the extra shock. Plays it well. Austin trying to take it off. Will not. Taroko 50s this to a teammate. Austin trying to catch it. He does, over to Taroko. What a play to give them two.
Amazing passing play by Austin and Taroko. He's able to just carry that on the hood of his car, flick it right past both defenders, and Taroko for the finish. That's kind of the coordination we've been missing in the previous games of this series so far by the Snakes. Good to see that they've been able to adapt so far in this game and try and force that fateful Game 5 for all the marbles in this specific series.
No Afterthought are going to be gunning for it right here, though. Still a minute 19 left. This one's tough as Communism was in an awkward position. Now Shock trying to challenge at half. He gets it up. There goes Hoxer downfield. Communism will get set to get a clear. That goes right to Stokely. Taroko will send it high. Shock off the wall, pinches it a little bit too much, and it goes nowhere. Now, Hoxer coming off the wall, pinches that down. It's high. Communism needs to get a touch here. He will, but that's right to Shock. Shock over to Austin. That goes up the wall. Hoxer looking like he's ready to receive it, but no teammate ready for the pass. Shock barely able to get that before it would trickle in. That one high, going to fall in from Austin as nobody's back in net.
Feels like this game has already been lost as soon as that second goal went in by the Snakes. The pressure, unrelenting thus far. Afterthought, they've had a few shots, but it's that overwhelming offense by them that's worked out so far for them in the two games they did manage to get themselves in this best-of-5 series. But as soon as I say that, you just got to say it. Shock answers right back, and there is potential for this to go to overtime if they get two quick goals, which they have proven, I think, in 2 games now that they're able to do.
Yeah, if there was a team that I would expect to be able to do this, I think it is Afterthought right now. If they can just kind of pull themselves together from what they've been doing in this game, there's definitely the chance. But Communism wants to take as much time as possible, or maybe goals. Wow.
Whew. He was given way too much time on that play. Right off the kickoff, a great bump as well by Taroko, disrupting the defense, forcing them to push themselves out and be distracted as Communism was able to put that into the back of the net, strengthen their lead, make it even more unlikely that Afterthought can come back and prevent a Game 5.
Afterthought probably now just thinking about game number 5. How do we prevent what just happened to us here in game 4 as things have gone poorly, almost even worse, but Hoxer gets the save. Hoxer wants to get one more. You see him trying to get the offense set up. Looks like this ball will just go straight down. So Snakes take game 4, and we're headed to that all-important game 5. I am excited.
I am as well, also excited. Crazy to see. One point that we haven't touched on, this Afterthought team, they got second last time. They didn't, go out in the Swiss stage in the previous tournament that happened last month. No, they got second against Splice. Was a little bit of a different roster as they had Zolhe instead of Stokely, but the way that Afterthought have been playing, still similar caliber. The Snakes able to bring it all the way back from the brink of extinction, at least in this series, to that fateful Game 5. Confident victory by them. Let's see how both these teams adapt going into this final one as we get another server up for these two teams to play.
Yeah, why does it feel like it always happens during tournaments?
It always happens. They want them to cool down a little bit because they're so hot going into this next one.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, we talked about before the series started how we were expecting some great games, but I don't think I would have predicted a game 5.
No, yeah. Me neither. I'm like, Afterthought probably going to take the victory here. Maybe the Snakes will give them a good run for their money. But nope, all the way to Game 5, back and forth action, plenty of goals being scored by both teams. It's going to come down to a battle of the Snakes able to just keep up that constant pressure on offense, make sure they don't give any possession to their opponents, and even when they do, just shutting down, intercepting any of those passing plays that have worked out so well for Afterthought thus far. And Afterthought, You just need to break out of your own side. Get those booming clears. Make sure that you can break past communism, because he's been the main one just stopping them from ever getting out of their own side. So if they can do that, they'll be fun and dandy, but I feel like the Snakes are going to keep going with their plan A and try and get that victory and go 4-0 in the Swiss system.
Yeah, I think this Game 5 is going to be an intense one, to say the least. But while we have a second, why don't we take some time to talk about many ways you can support Nexus, one of which would be to subscribe right here on Twitch. Vod, do you know how to subscribe? Because I'm fairly new to Twitch. Why don't you walk me through it?
It's pretty nice. It only costs about $5 a month, depending on if you got gifted a sub or not. And you also get a nice sub badge next to your name and some great emotes that I will spam in chat real quick. I really like the Nexus cow emote myself, and also the Nexus palm, which is the lovely Stack Sean House, who likes to always have a face palm whenever he is experiencing some of the bad puns that happen in these plays. But also want to thank Karma for the host that happened earlier. Big shout out to her and her team that also qualified for the finals that'll happen in February for the actual Renegade Cup, not just the monthlies. But we got the teams into the match. We're going to get into the Game 5 between Afterthought and the Snakes. And why don't you take it away, Hazmat, and see exactly what happens between these two teams.
Well, I'm nervous to see it, because either way it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be tough to handle as we're underway here. Austin in his own corner. Sends it back, but Shock ready to cut it off. Here comes Hoxer going up early. Can't quite do it. It's wide. Taroko will send it away, but Stokely right back. Taroko able to get another touch. Wants to get one more. He will. So Hoxer will play with it at center. Austin forced to go up. A little bit of confusion from Afterthought on who's going to go for this. Sets up a dangerous chance for the Snakes to start an offense here. Taroko can't quite get the touch, so it goes back towards Austin. Shock taking it up the wall. He's being patient here as he sees Communism coming in. The smart plays, but Communism does get the goalie demo. The Snakes can go on offense now. It'll be deadly. They cannot, as Stokely puts this one high. Taroko jumps for it, so does Communism. That could be awkward, but Taroko makes the save from the shot by Hoxer.
Insane save by Taroko, pinching that, threading it through the needle on that play, off the post and out. They got to be worried at this point. We're seeing a lot more aggression out of Afterthought, and Snakes have been pushed back to their side where they do not perform too well based off the 2 games that Afterthought took against them so far in this series.
And we're seeing a lot less Snakes offense than we saw in game number 4. That could spell disaster. Speaking of, Shock with a beautiful shot. My goodness.
A great block as well on that clear. Baited out the defenders. Great touch by Stokely to get it right past the last one as well. And then Shock with the secure, getting that first goal. That might be the first of many for this Afterthought team in Game 5.
I'm starting to think the same thing, as we are seeing a repeat performance from the Snakes. We'll see how this offense goes, though, as this is a good chance, but no one will take the shot as it drops in front. Hoxer trying to push it away, but Taroko right there ready to take it. Shock chips it high, but here comes Communism. Communism off the corner. Hoxer pushes this one far. Austin not able to get it past, so Communism will handle it again. Shock chips it up. Here comes Taroko. Taroko trying to take a shot. Hoxer gets the save despite being bumped. And now Stokely will finally be able to clear it and maybe set up Hoxer. No shot from him.
Barely off target on that play. If he got the connection, would have strengthened their lead even more, but they got to be worried about Austin, who is on fire with this offense. With a great demo coming out by the defense to buy them some time.
Shock trying to make something fancy happen here. He does! My goodness! Will he ever calm down?
Woo! Just putting on the top hat on that play. A great touch by Shock, and then the finish, blocking the defender, dunking on top of him into the back of the net to get the 2-goal lead.
Shock doing a phenomenal job for his team, but the entirety of Afterthought doing a great job themselves. Hoxer trying to get the shot. Doesn't quite happen, but there you go. Chipped up. Shock not able to sneak in time. Stokely doesn't get that. He's low on boost. He will take a while to rotate back, but Hoxer back in his own end, will play with it and give him the time to do so. Communism misses the touch, could be bad. Here comes Shock. Shock sends it low to Roko, couldn't predict. And Afterthought are running away with it.
It's not just Afterthought running away with it, it's Shock playing at his A-game. Amazing pace being set by him for his team in position every single time. Solo efforts, team efforts, everything working together for Shock to get that hat trick so far. After 3 minutes of play, there's still time for 2 more goals for him, 1 for each minute so far in this 5th and final game. We really are looking out for the Snakes to break out of their side, get something going, because Shock has just been on fire.
His title is really checking out right now. Captain Clutch, to say the least, in this Game 5. But Austin trying to send it the other way. Communism wants to beat out Shock, but Shock just gets some bumps to slow him down. Doesn't quite work, and it comes towards center. But Hoxer will help out. Hoxer putting that shot on target. Austin will come in well. Communism accidentally passing this right to Stokely. But thank goodness for Snakes. Roko was right there to save it. Austin towards the back wall. Stokely off the corner, gets one more, but Taroko will still be able to center this over towards Austin. Shot cuts it off, and that's back towards the Snakes zone. 1 minute left. Afterthought up 3-0, possibly 4 in this dangerous spot. Shock backflips on that. So Hoxer will center it. Communism picks it up at half field. And now Shock receives in his own corner. Takes it slow. Fakes out the challenger. Stokely comes in. Booms this upfield towards Hoxer. Hoxer straight down.
Goodness.
Here comes Stokely. That's the play we wanted to see. It's not all Shock this game.
Great setup by Stokely. Hoxer with the pre-jump, dropping it down for Stokely on the finish. 4-0, 35 seconds for the Snakes, who are being suffocated on defense. Try and, well, I guess that'll help them out a little bit with demoing the top player on the field and getting that goal.
But it seems to be a little too late, as now they're 3 goals down with 30 seconds remaining. That's quite the stretch, and they have no time to do it. This is Game 5. It's all coming down to these final 30 seconds for the Snakes. They need to make something crazy happen, and Taroko might start us off. It's still in front. Here comes Communism, but no, Stokely saves it. Taroko right back to front. Shock downfield. You can breathe for a moment. 15 seconds left. It is not looking good for the Snakes. Communism does not care. He wants to get one more. Taroko off the back wall. Aftershock coming in here as they put it towards net. Time ticks down, and that is going to be game in the series unless Shock can get one more. No, he will not. They're going to let it go just for funsies here. Snakes know there's nothing they can do, but maybe a consolation as that heads towards center, and Afterthought wins.
Ooh, not even a consolation goal for the Snakes. They got vanquished by Afterthought. Shock coming in clutch, as you mentioned, Captain Clutch living up to his title that he's currently rocking, and Hoxer and Stokely supporting that effort in that final game. But it came down at the end of the day to exactly how I thought would happen. The Snakes zone out Afterthought, make sure they don't have possession, make sure they can't break out of their own end, or Afterthought just put on way too many shots for Snakes to handle because their defense was lacking that one. We saw 6 shots from Shock, 4 shots from Hoxer, and 3 shots from Stokely. So plenty of action for Afterthought. The mechanical ability being top-notch for this team. And at the end of the day, the better team won, and it will be Afterthought continuing their undefeated streak in the Swiss system Turmoil for Fall Frenzy.
Afterthought doing a phenomenal job, and my little voice slip summing up Game 5. I called the team Aftershock, and I think that's what it should be renamed to after that one. He did a phenomenal job, but his teammates were there 100% along the way. I mean, great games by both teams. But you know what, Vaudable? We've got even more great games coming up soon. Did you know that?
So many great games.
I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. Stick around for just a little bit. But before we go, I do want to give a shout out to Pluter or Steve Fanboy. 14 months in a row hitting us with that resub. Much love to him. We appreciate it. Now we are going to take it to a break. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for your patience, but you're watching the Fall Frenzy North American Renegade Cup Monthly, sponsored by Psyonix. It's day 2 of the Swiss system Turmoil. We're in round 6, and we're going to have 2 great matches coming up for you. Our first one for the night, or not for the night, but for us, is going to be Upper 90 Esports and the Doggy Bag. I am Meet and Greek. You can call me George, and with me is Sniper Gus. Sniper, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It was a good day at work today, and I'm ready to get some Rocket League action on. Upper 90 Esports is a team that we've very familiar with here at Nexus. They've taken a lot of our money in the past. This is not the version of Upper 90 that has First Killer playing on it. Instead, we're going to see one of the trios out of Democat, Silvishi, Skills, and Aunt Jemima, all 4 really good players. And then on the Doggy Bag side, we've got Zeus, Big Matt, Bacon, and somebody I've actually spent some time playing Paladins with, Broski RL.
Oh, yeah?
So, wow. Yeah, so definitely some good players here. This is going to be really good matchup. Yeah. These teams are both 4-1. So one of these teams is going to be securing a very high seed for the next phase of the tournament. The other one still going to be qualified, but they're just going to fall down a little bit lower. They'll probably end up as like a 2 or 3 seed in the group stage rather than like a 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah, so, for those of you who don't know, next week only the top 32 teams will make it. We have 48 now, so some will be eliminated, and they'll be divided into 4 groups of 8 teams for our round robin madness, and that's going to be a great time. But I think we're done talking. I think these players want to play. I think our viewers want to see some Rocket League. So let's give these teams the go ahead. Let's get right into this one. Upper 90 is going to be in the blue, and the Doggy Bag is going to be in the orange. That's going to be a fun one to say all night.
Yeah, that's just a classic Rocket League pickup team name. Now, the Doggy Bag as a roster did not compete under that name in last month's, but they do have 2 players who were in it. So these guys know what it's like to be up against competition like this. Upper 90 Esports, however, did do really well in last month's Project Phoenix. They ended up making it to the top 10. So this is another team like RBG Esports, who we saw last night, that has already shown a strong ability to play at this level. So it's definitely going to be on Doggy Bag to come out and establish some dominance of their own and let them know that they can be the big dogs on the block as well.
Yeah, and honestly, like, hey, some of these teams, yeah, you're right. They did make it far into last month's tournament, but don't sleep on some of these teams. We saw it earlier today with Afterthought and the Snakes going to game 5. Like, no one saw that coming, but they went and got it done. They didn't win, unfortunately for them. Afterthought did take it at the very end. And a dominant game 5 win, I must say. But that just goes to show that here, everyone's almost on a level playing field, and it makes it really that much more competitive. So all these teams are vying for those Renegade Cup points. They want to make their spot for that final tournament in February. Sonics is going to be running that. It's going to be a great time. Still waiting on the players, but we'll be with them in just a moment.
And I love how close all these matches here in the group stage have been, because it really shows just the depth of the Rocket League skill in the community. You know, you got the RLCS players at the very tippy top, and they can't play in this. So this is RLRS teams and teams that have been very close to making RLRS. And so for these guys who haven't made it to that level yet, this is a chance to really prove themselves as a dominant force here at the very edge of the Rocket League pro scene. And it wouldn't at all surprise me to find out that teams that stay together through all 4 Renegade Cup monthlies will probably be making deep RLRS runs when they do the next qualification for that. Like, I can almost guarantee that it's going to be happening.
I agree. No, absolutely. And because it gets you in that team mentality, but none of that. Teams are loaded in. Let's get right into this one, folks. Upper 90 again in the blue, the Doggy Bag in the orange. 5 minutes on the clock, best of 5. Here's game 1, and we are underway. Skills and Bacon going to collide in the middle. That ball goes to Slushy. That ball is now going to hit off the backboard. Slushy with a shot, but can't get it on target. Bacon taking this one downfield. Can he get the double tap? He gets a triple, but it doesn't make its way to his desired location. Skills is going to have a free net.
Yep, free nets are something that you always have to be able to score into, and Skills shows that he knows exactly how to work that. The offense from Doggy Bag just pushed up really far, and nobody truly back to actually handle that clear. Makes it a very easy opportunity for Skills to take, and that's exactly the start that they want. Upper 90 always known for their speed, so for them to come out and get on the board within the first 20 seconds, that's exactly the kind of pace that they want to be setting.
Watch out for Broski. Can he get the tap? No, trying to get it down to Zeus. He was coming in hot as a support player, trying to take a shot. Upper 90, watch out, they're back on the offense. Skills can't find someone. He has Slushy, but he collides together. The teammates putting that shot way off target. And you know what? I like the Doggy Bag and how aggressive they're starting off this game, but you know, unfortunately it did lead to that first goal. But Bacon again putting so much pressure. I'm loving what we're seeing so far.
Yeah, the Doggy Bag really doing a good job of handling the kind of pressure game Upper 90 wants to play. Now that they got that beat once, they want to leave one player back on offense and make sure that he's there to secure. And I like that adjustment from them. But it will make it harder for them to tie this thing back up.
There it is.
Especially if Slushy pounds another one in to expand the lead to 2.
And Upper 90 is being so aggressive with this offensive rotation. Every bounce off that back wall, an Upper 90 player is there to secure a touch and put a shot on net. Excellent job there. And now with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, still plenty of time for the Doggy Bag to make a comeback. But remember, this is game 1 where teams start to get a feel for each other as Brosi double taps it off Slushy and now pulls it within 1.
My homeboy Broski making this pass read so well. He sees that it's going to be contested by Slushy, and so then rather than trying to put that ball in a further away place that risks missing the shot, he reads where the defender is going to be and sets himself up for the dunk. A beautiful physical play to get their momentum back on their side. Can he get the double?
Oh,
let's
wow.
clear it away.
Democat, I thought he was going to hit the top of the goal, instead makes contact. A great clear. Let's see if Slushy can get this out of his own corner, though. He's Democat's a pinch. They couldn't get it off. Broski putting a challenge. That ball's going to fall center, but nobody from the Doggy Bag there to commit to that ball. And this gives Upper 90 a little bit of time here. Let's see if Slushy can get that touch. He does. No one in sight except for Democat. That ball's going to go a floater. Can't find its way to the net. Skills going up. A little more than half the game left, and Upper 90s still have really good offensive control. They did concede a goal, so they have to be careful. But right now, the Doggy Bag not in great position as Slushy's up, but Zeus able to get a great clear. Here comes Broski back to Zeus. That's going to go around the corner and Bacon. No, Democat. Excellent read off the wall. An excellent pass from Slushy to Demo, but he can't finish it.
Yeah, and this is Upper 90 doing the thing that has been their signature for a very long time. They just want to hold on to the ball. They're not always even going to just shoot the ball a lot. Sometimes they just want to play keep away and maintain control of the ball and try to steal as much boost as possible until they can get the defense to make a mistake. That's signature gameplay for them, and it is working in their favor right now. They've only allowed 2 shots from the Doggy Bag because they have maintained control of this thing the whole time.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think the best defense sometimes could be the best offense because you got to be careful. You can't give that many opportunities. As Slushy now playing in that corner, Upper 90 might be in a little trouble. Here comes Zeus. Can't get that ball centered, but Bacon and Broski working so well, and these shots are daggering into that Upper 90 esports half of the field. They're going towards net, but the defense getting in the way of all those shots. They're doing an excellent job at getting those stops. But you can't wonder how long that's going to hold up as Democat clears that way long. Broski attempting to get his own, and again, it almost feels like the control of this game is starting to go back and forward. And right as I say it, Bacon collects.
This is absolutely beautiful work here. Zeus fakes out like he wants to cut back into this thing and freezes Democat in his shoes. But rather than being selfish and trying to get that thing done all on his own, He sees the passing lane to get it over to Bacon and trusts his teammate to make the shot. That is team play at its absolute finest, and definitely something that we need to see more of from Doggy Bag if they want to take out what is probably a slightly better upper 90 esports team.
And like, think about the precision on that play. That was surgical in that pass, nodding it through 2 defenders. Excellent positioning. His skills might have the open net. Broski's on the back wall, couldn't do anything about it.
Yep, and this is just a good read by Slushy and Skills, seeing where the holes in that defense were as soon as the defenders didn't get the touches that they needed to, and proving that they are right back in this thing, swinging the momentum their way. You can't afford to have those, 2 players going towards the ball, but nobody actually touches it, because now you're both out of position, you're both out of boost, and you're allowing the offense to maintain their momentum. They really have to clean those up.
Yeah, and actually, one thing I did notice, especially at this level of play here in these Renegade Cup monthlies, is that a lot of games are decided by just simple mistakes here and there that teams really shouldn't be committing. So it's a great learning experience. If you do unfortunately suffer a loss here, there's a lot to learn from your matches in these monthly tournaments. As Skills trying to keep this one away, wasting the time. 5 seconds left. Not a whole lot for Doggy Bag trying to tie this up, and it's still alive. Let's see if Zeus can get this going, but Slushy can be able to kill that one by keeping that in the corner. Upper 90 esports taking game 1.
Yep, taking game 1, but not as convincingly as you might have expected. The first half, they maintained a ton of ball control, and it shows in the shot lines. They end up leading that by 3. But only winning by 1 goal because they really looked soft once Doggy Bag got some possession of their own. 2 goals off of 5 shots, and 2 of them, or the one of them coming from Broski just muscling that ball through, and then the beautiful passing play. This is definitely some games that Doggy Bag thinks that they can win as long as they can get the ball off their own side of the pitch.
I agree with that. I think along with getting that ball off their side of the pitch comes with those passes as well. If they can get those pass plays going in, they're going to have a much easier time getting those clears. Because right now, if you see all their clears that are coming out of their half, they're going right back into that upper 90 possession. Like, no one is really challenging them on that side of the field. So once they get those 1, 2, 3, 4 pass plays going, some more connections, I feel like they're going to be a lot more aggressive on offense.
Absolutely. Get the ball off your side, get the passing game going, give upper 90 a taste of their own medicine, and control the pace of the game and control the ball for a long period of time. And that's going to get upper 90 frustrated. They want to play fast and they want to play in control. If you can take that away from them, you can get them flustered and off their game. And that creates good opportunities for you to enforce your will. So this is going to be a very interesting game 2. As we see the counter adjustments coming in from both of these teams.
Absolutely. As Skills right away, putting a shot towards the back wall. Broski, excellent job with that backboard defense, but watch out for Democat to Slushy. Got a double commit on defense here for the Doggy Bag, and that could cost them, but Broski gets back there in time.
Yep, and Broski with a feels backflip and then just another miss. Not sure what's going on. Zeus is going to get there in time. That was so tenuous, as Skills should have been able to get the dunk through there, but Zeus knew exactly where to be. And this is a bit of a hot start here for game 2 compared to what we saw in game 1. I like it. These two teams ready to go after each other.
Yeah, and I like to think that game 1 in all these series tends to be like a feeler game, as Democat finding the angle. And I believe that was Bacon on goal. Just Bacon could do anything.
Yeah, Bacon starts to come out for that one and then thinks better of it and stops dead in his tracks. And that level of hesitation is just never going to work out in your favor at this level of play. Everything is much too fast, and once you start going, you might as well finish, because either your teammates will be behind you to cover that, or you've already shown your hand and the defender knows exactly where to place
what a
that
beautiful
shot.
pass. I agree with you though. I think that the rotations are so key, and even if you do miss, you gotta commit to it. You can't leave your teammates hanging. It's such an important part of the game. The way I see it is, it's okay to make a mechanical mistake, but mental mistakes that happen during the game end up costing you huge opportunities as Broski, great backboard clear, but Demo Cat, and there's another situation where Doggy Bag are getting these clears, but they're hitting it right into the possession of upper 90, and they're just able to pound it right back onto offense.
And it's because of the strong possession and pressure game from upper 90 is that Doggy Bag just feels like they need to throw this thing down the field to try to relieve some of the pressure. And it means that they're not putting those clears into open space where they can go get
here
to the
comes
ball first.
Zeus!
Just getting rid of it. What a challenge in the midfield, but Broski not able to follow it up. We've seen Broski missing on several balls this game that he really should be getting up to hit. Can he go hero mode? Skills in the way.
And you know what? Hey, sometimes you're gonna miss these. You're gonna have an off game, but you can't let that off game challenge you as that ball almost went in off the top of that crossbar and bounces out. Oh man, if you're the Doggy Bag, you have to feel pretty good about that one. You don't get those many chances like that as Skills. Again, upper 90 with some offense. Here comes Slushy. That's off the backboard, but no one there to finish it. Is Demo Cat playing janitor in the backfield, but it doesn't matter as Broski starting to get those shots on net and keep upper 90 on their tiptoes.
Yeah, upper 90's had a lot of the possession so far, but when Doggy Bag has been down the field, they look good for it.
Oh,
They're
man.
just not quite sustaining that pressure long enough for upper 90 to really feel like they're in any sort of trouble. Upper 90 feels like their game plan is working and they're just going to continue doing it and not really try to press the issue of their 1-goal lead, which is interesting. You know, one more goal and suddenly this thing is tied back up. But they seem really comfortable with this lead.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they are comfortable is why they're so at ease right now. They don't feel that much pressure coming in from the Doggy Bag. You see Skills going up for a crazy 50-50 that, you know, he's probably not going to win that. It ended up going into the Doggy Bag corner. But it's just this confidence coming from upper 90 is really, really a detriment to the Doggy Bag as Zeus puts that one center. Here comes Bacon. He's the shot. No, he hits it too high.
You know, and upper 90's success here is really just a testament to the strength of roster consistency. It allows you to get passes like this where you're trusting your teammate to make the right decision and get the ball to you. Skills just doing a great job of being in the defender's way and clearing space for Slushy to put that through. Upper 90 has been a mainstay of the bubble scene for a long time, and these guys are showing why they have been so good around here before. Demo Cat almost going for the highlight reel there, but just a touch wide.
And with a minute left, Zeus trying to figure out if he can get this ball to Broski, who has Bacon center, but a demo from Skills on Bacon is going to clear up that offensive pressure as Demo Cat's going to put another one towards the net. Barely goes wide. And right now, upper 90, hey, they got Caster Math right now, 10 shots on goal for 2 goals, and they're just winning by volume right now. And just the offensive presence they've commanded this entire game really does make a difference.
Yeah, that is exactly the formula that upper 90 is used to playing with. They're just because it's getting counted as a shot doesn't mean they actually care if it's going towards the net or not. They're really just trying to play the keep away game. Skills, does he have a double? He does! That is absolutely beautiful. Almost surely going to be the dagger. This is beautiful work from Slushy to Skills.
If you're Zeus, you gotta go up for that. You can't let someone have a free double tap because you're gonna have a whole lot of trouble blocking it on that second touch. You have to go and kill that play right there in the air. And with 10 seconds left, I'm gonna call this one here, folks. Upper 90 is gonna be able to take game 2. We have, oh man, I was about to comment on the stalemate in the center of the field, but the demo came out to fix that problem.
I mean, everyone knows that Rule 1 is the most important rule in Rocket League, and so they were doing the right thing there, leaving the last few seconds of the game as a 2v2. Upper 90 Esports commandingly taking game number 2. That is 11 shots to only 2. Upper 90 really just in the driver's seat from the start of that, and now they've got this thing on match point. If they can go 5-1 here in the Swiss stage, they should almost assuredly be the #1 seed going into their bracket and then be obviously heavily favorites to come out of that thing next week and make
the
it
seeding
to the
helps a whole lot. The seeding does help a whole lot, and you want to win as many of these as you can. I don't think anyone wants to not win. So, regardless, the Doggy Bag have their work cut out for them. It's game 3. They're in elimination station. They got to figure it out. Upper 90. I don't think they're going to change up the formula. Let's see what happens. Fresh 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, definitely don't expect Upper 90 to come out and do too much different because it seems like they really had Doggy Bag flustered. But I still think Doggy Bag stands a chance of taking a game here. They just have to figure out how to carefully get the ball out of their own side of the field and hold on to it as they transition across the midfield line.
Yeah, Broski, actually, side note, Broski switching to Batmobile. Let's see if that changes things up. But right now, Upper 90 just in command of the tempo early, and the Doggy Bag just don't feel that comfortable right now.
Yeah, Doggy Bag is all sorts of out of sorts, and they're just not sure what to do with this Upper 90 team. And if you've watched a lot of Nexus events, that's a story that you're used to hearing. They are a tough team to play.
Oh, wow.
Skills with a
There it is.
beautiful angle. That challenge off the wall, absolutely perfect. He had to beat Bacon out, read the touch from Demo Cat. Oh, man.
Some mistakes
what a
here, though.
sequence of touch.
Some mistakes here, though, from the Doggy Bag. We had a double commit on the wall. It looked like Zeus and Bacon, I believe, on that play were... Oh, no, that was Broski. We're just in the same area. No one was back on defense. This Demo Cat could potentially get it. No! Broski comes in last second to prevent the shot from Slushy from connecting. And Bacon to Zeus might have an opportunity, but Slushy there, great heads-up play to clear that up.
Yep, Broski gonna come off the ceiling, not gonna have enough touches to do anything major with it though. And that's almost the desperation level that they're at, is that in a game of this much importance, Broski is trying to ceiling shot, not because he feels the need to be fancy, but because he feels the need to do whatever he can to try to get his team back into this game. And I like that kind of grit and determination, but you gotta be real careful and make sure your comms are real good if you're gonna be taking risks like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, some fun fact I noticed during this series, we're both color casters at heart. I think it's really funny how we are just throwing it right back and forth to each other. It's really interesting. It provides interesting commentary. And hey, I hope our viewers are really enjoying this match. Well, that is left to be determined if Zeus can tie it up. I want to see this go more than 3 games, folks. I want a series.
Absolutely.
I want to show a lot of Rocket League.
Yeah, there's no reason this couldn't go 5 games. It's just going to take, I think Doggy Bag needs to slow their roll and get out of this panic mode. Skill. Oh no, Zeus!
Oof.
Zeus, you have to save those!
That's unfortunate, Zeus. Your last man back. Again, you have to go up. I've been stressing that this whole series. You can't let that ball bounce off the backboard. Backboard defense is so imperative at this level of play. And, man, that's just really rough for the Doggy Bag. They're going to have a lot more work to do. There's still half the game left, though. So, hey, plenty of time. Just got to fix up a couple things here or there. Get the tempo back from Upper 90 and stop that offense from generating too much pressure.
Oh, good demolition there, creating some
Oh my
opportunity.
goodness,
Oh, Demo Cat going
wow.
to that manner.
Oh my goodness, the PM. Oh my.
Demo Cat catching
Wow.
the ball, starting the reverse dribble into the flick.
I can't believe
and
this.
Zeus is in the right position and
He actually
still
did it.
cannot make the save. What
Oh.
a shot, and that just an absolute morale killer. How do you come back from that
I don't
as
even-
a
I do
player on
not-
the orange side?
That's the first time I've seen something like that happen on a game I've cast, and I'm just not prepared. Like, that was so much disrespect just thrown. And again, Demo Cat coming in. You don't even call it a dagger at this point, folks. It's just straight shots coming through from Demo Cat. He means business. But wow.
Yeah, there's a difference between a dagger and desecrating the body, and at this point, that's what Upper 90 Esports is doing. They've figured out the formula on this one, and they're just going to try to do whatever they want to get on the highlight reel. And both of those goals, definitely things that I would like to see on the highlight reel for the night. And then nobody going for that kickoff there. It's like they are just making it up as they go along now in full confidence, and it's fun to watch.
It really, really is. 1:30 left. Not a whole lot of time for the doggy bag. Hey, when they were down 2, I thought, hey, could be an opportunity, but again, Skills gonna make this 5-0.
Yep, and there's almost not even a lot to say there. It's just Skills and Democat double committed in a place where you don't really need them to be, but because they've got so much momentum, it works out in their favor, and they get the ball behind all 3 defenders. Broski ends up sitting that one out on the midfield line because he knows there is just nothing he can do about it. This game, all over but the crying, essentially, as Upper 90 is probably going to take this in 3, barring some sort of extreme miracle, like 2 of Upper 90 esports players disconnecting here in the next couple seconds.
I mean, hey, anything can happen, but unfortunately, ooh, that's not looking good for Upper 90. They will scavenge that away, and Slushy's gonna have an open net. Yes, skill centered. He's gonna hit it. No, he's not. And you know, it's actually really interesting how the only real impressive attempt on the Upper 90 esports goal comes so late in the game. It's unfortunate for the doggy bag, as they're going to be swept in 3 games.
Yeah, and they're going to feel a little bit rough. But at the same time, you kind of have to look at the situation and go, Doggy Bag is a newly formed team. You know, a couple of them have spent some time playing in Project Phoenix last month.
Oh,
and,
okay.
You know, obviously these guys play together, you know, in ranked and stuff.
Consolation goal.
But Upper 90 has been a very long-standing organization with, you know, these players, and so, you know, it's not surprising to see them succeeding and playing at that level. Consolation prizes are nice, but at the same time, it's also just the Brazil setup, and it wouldn't even surprise me if that's what this turns into. There is still time.
There is still time.
The bags packed.
You might have your bags packed, but your flight might be delayed, as Skills is going to be able to put it in. We'll have a 6-1, but unfortunately no Brazil. But hey, the sweep is complete. Upper 90 is going to take this one over the doggy bag. And if you're the doggy bag, don't sweat this one too much. You still have next week. You're not eliminated, of course. You're still going to be playing next week in the round robin madness. So there's definitely a lot more Rocket League coming your way to be ready for. But really just a really dominant performance from Upper 90 Esports. They are for sure going to get a top seed, the pool that they get in for the round robin madness. And I'm excited to see where they go next in this stage of the tournament, because, you know, you're right. They hit top 10 last month. Let's see if they can go even further this month. They want those Renegade Cup points to be able to go through and qualify for the final tournament in February, sponsored by Psyonix. But hey, you know, if they can win it all this month, that'll be good enough for them too. So we'll have to see what happens. Unfortunately, I believe that's going to be our last match of the evening. But man, Gus, it was very interesting how this one went through.
Yeah, that was, you know, despite kind of being a little bit lopsided, it was an entertaining match to watch, and that's something that Upper 90 is almost always good for. I don't think I've ever watched them play and been like, you know, that was kind of Upper 90 is always exciting to watch, because either they have an opponent that is matching them in pace and skill, or they just put on a demonstration of their ability. So it's always fun to watch. And despite Doggy Bag dropping all 3 games there, there's a lot of quality on that team. If they stick with it, I think they have good things in front of them. So those guys definitely need to keep pushing through. You know, their tournament's not over. They're into next week, and they could make some good things happen in group stage and even make it to the finals. They just got to keep putting that time in and be ready to play at the pace that they saw out of Upper 90 this week. But unfortunately, that is going to do it for us. We are going to be getting out of here. We will see you guys next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we get into the group stages of this thing. And we are going to be throwing over a host to the car. So go let them know who said hi, and we'll see you guys next week.
you